Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Amiibo here, and today we're doing another game collection update. It's been a while since I did one of these. I think the last one was before the Switch 2 came out, so naturally there's quite a few Switch 1 games to show, as well as PS5, and a few odds and ends. We found some really cool stuff at our local Goodwill outlet recently. My birthday was this past week, and Olivia got me some really cool gifts, so that's what we're getting into today, just showing off my recent pickups from the past 2 months or so. Let's get into it. Okay, so we'll start off with the Switch 2 games here. Now, if you've been following the channel, you'll know that I've been doing unboxings and first impressions videos for basically every Switch 2 game. However, that kind of came to a grinding halt. I got really burnt out on just even uploading on YouTube. Honestly, I was more just focused on actually playing games with my free time recently. So there are a couple games I did not do videos on. I still want to do a video on 2 of them, but starting off here, we have the physical copy of Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV. I cannot believe the title on these games. Played it this one night with friends the night it came out. Jamboree TV, not very good, I gotta be honest. I already have it on Switch 1. I wanted to get it on Switch 2 just to have the physical there. Jamboree TV doesn't really work that well. So you're using the Switch 2 camera, which is not very good at all. You're also using the microphone, which, at least in my experience, wasn't working that well either in terms of registering when people were clapping. One of the main mini games is clapping, and it detects when you clap. It doesn't really work that well. So Jamboree TV, definitely a huge miss. I think I'm still going to do a video on the entire package, including a review of the original Jamboree experience, because I had never really played that up until about a month ago. So that is something I still want to do this month. You'll get a full Jamboree plus Jamboree TV 100% review from me, which took way longer than you would think. And then 2 other Switch 2 pickups here. Both of these are game key cards. I actually got codes for both of these from the respective publishers, but I have not had the time to really play them in depth yet. So you can expect videos on them eventually, just not right away. But either way, I still wanted to pick up the physical copy for the collection and support the publishers. So first up here, we have Wild Hearts S. This was a game key card release only in Japan and Europe. So I imported this from Amazon UK, I want to say. Pretty cool. Played a couple hours of this so far. It is a lot of fun. I'm not sure if it's something I really want to put that much time into, or at least I should say I don't know if I have the time to put as much as I want into it as the game really kind of asks of you, because this is a Monster Hunter game. It really just is a Monster Hunter game from Koei Tecmo with that Omega Force Team Ninja kind of flavor to it. The movement's really fast. You have Fortnite building to jump and propel yourself around the map. It's a lot of fun. It's just one of those games where they want you to hunt the same monsters over and over again, and the way I play games, the way I'm constantly moving from game to game, something like that, at least right now, while the quality is there, I just don't think I have the time, really. But shout out to Koei Tecmo for sending me a code for the game. I would still like to do a video on it. Hopefully this month we will see what happens there. But yeah, that's kind of a cool import release from them. And then also, I picked up the physical of No Sleep for Kaname Date from the Somnium Files, game key card from Spike Chunsoft. They did send me a code as well. I was playing it a little bit before release. They sent the code the day before Bonanza came out, which really was bad timing, obviously. But I played the first few chapters, and it is solid. Runs a lot better than the Switch 1 counterparts of the original 2 games. There are mouse controls now, which aren't really that useful. I mean, it's just it's a text-based adventure game, essentially, so you're just, moving the Switch 2 Joy-Con to click on dialogue options or something like that. It's honestly easier just to use the buttons, but it's cool to have that there, and it's really just the performance, because even though these are basic games, on Switch 1, there were often times with loading and having the characters text and voice lines register in. There were some issues with that, as well as just the overall aesthetic of the game. The models look a little bit worse on Switch 1, at least in the first 2 games. This looks a lot cleaner, a lot sharper on Switch 2. Story so far, it definitely seems like a step down from the other 2. I know it's not the original writer. It's not Uchikoshi hands-on with this one as much, I believe. So it is very much an in-between kind of spin-off title before we get the inevitable 3rd game in the series. It's fine so far. This is what I want to get a full review out for, hopefully this month. I've heard it's a shorter game, so it shouldn't be too bad to get through. But yeah, happy to have this in the collection. Still sealed once again because they sent me a code, but I now have all of these on Switch 1 and Switch 2, which is cool. Next up, we have a few Switch 1 games, 2 of which were from VGP, one of which was an import from Play Asia. So first things first, from Play Asia, got the physical copy of Saga Frontier Remastered 2, or Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, I should say. Not too familiar with Saga Frontier, really Romancing Saga as a whole. I know this is this isn't Romancing Saga, it's Saga. I know they're technically different. This is a series that I plan on getting into very soon. Probably not with Frontier 2 specifically, because I have Frontier 1 on Switch 1, so I would play that first. But also, if we're talking about the broader, Romancing Saga, I really want to check out that new Switch 2 version of Romancing Saga 2, because that came out last year, and I bought it on Switch, and I plan on getting to it. Things happened, I didn't get to it. But when it came out, I heard really good things. I mean, there were people saying it's one of, like, the best RPGs ever, and I was like, there's no way, right? But maybe it's true. The reviews for it weren't the strongest from, like, the, traditional press, but I've seen a lot of people, like, really standing by Romancing Saga 2, the remake, as, like, a fantastic RPG. So that is what I really want to get to now that there is a Switch 2 patch for it. I hope they do some sort of Switch 2 physical, like they did with Saga Frontier 2 here. That'd be really cool. But yeah, Saga and Romancing Saga series I'm more or less unfamiliar with. I have all the games on Switch, because I know I will play them eventually. But right now I'm playing through Octopath, still need to finish up Suikoden, Bravely Default. I just keep, like, adding JRPGs to my list, and I have, like, 15, 20 hours in all of them. So I'm about to, like, knock out 3 big ones back to back, which is going to be really satisfying. And then from there, branch into some more things. But 2 other things from VGP here. Picked up the limited run release of Valkyria Chronicles Remastered here. I just missed this when it came out through LRG. Wanted to have that on Switch. Never played Valkyria Chronicles, but it's a series I'm pretty sure I will enjoy. And then this was a new release. I kind of messed up, though. I didn't realize at the time of, like, pre-ordering it through VGP that there is a European version, and that is for Patapon 1+2 from Bandai Namco here. Now, this has English on it. There's really no issue with it. If I wanted to play this, I could. However, as you'll see here with, like, the Saga Frontier, I like to get, like, the cleanest copy I can of a game if it's an import. So usually that means if there's, like, a release like this, I prefer to get this because it's the cleanest. It has English on the spine. Then from there, I will get, like, a European copy, like with Wild Hearts on Switch 2 earlier. My last resort is usually games that have Japanese on the front and, most importantly, on the spine here, if it'll focus. I really don't like that. I tried to cancel the pre-order immediately. VGP has a pretty strict, like, hey, you can't cancel it. And I, like, emailed them, and they were like, yeah, you can't return it either. And I'm just like, well, that sucks. I mean, I made an honest mistake here. So VGP, don't like you for that. VGP usually very great, but their return policy seems to not be the best. Also, customer support took forever to respond. So I have this Japanese copy of Patapon 1+2. I could play this. There's really no issue with it, but I would prefer to get it with English on the spine. So I think I might try to maybe just sell that on eBay, eat a couple dollars loss or something, and import the European version. I know that might sound silly to some people, but I like to have the English on the spine. I know that's a very specific thing. But Patapon 1+2, game I'm very excited to play. I heard great things about the remaster. I mean, it's really just a port, I guess. You don't really need a remaster much for Patapon, but I like Patapon, so excited to play that. Should be a short, kind of breezy thing later this year I get through. All right, next up, let's go over some things I got for my birthday this year from Olivia. So first things first here, this is not a video game, but I wanted to show them off here. Fellas, I would like you to meet my legend, Furion. This is a new kitty we adopted, technically part of my birthday here. He's licking my finger. Named him Furion after the Final Fantasy II protagonist. He is an absolute legend, absolute joy, very energetic, already ready to go, and yeah, he's really cute. So I wanted to show him off here. Say hello. He is the new mascot of the channel here. He's chilling. Wow, he kind of I think he likes looking at himself in the camera. He also just ate a huge wet food, so he's kind of tubby right now. We adopted him a few weeks ago, not necessarily a new thing. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen him, but technically, it was a kind of part of my birthday. He's trying to climb me right now. But Olivia also did get me 2 games for my birthday here, 2 that I've been talking about that I want for the collection. First things first, for the ever-growing Wii U collection, hasn't been growing much recently, but she got me this, the Yoshi's Woolly World Amiibo bundle with the pink yarn Yoshi. I actually didn't have any of these bundles. I had the green one when I was younger, threw the box away, or, lost it in moving or something, before I was like a serious collector, but she got this, and it's actually still sealed, so I kind of want to get all the variants. A little silly, but still really happy to get this. I need to get a protector for it, and also I kind of want to get the other variants. There will be more amiibo in this video as well. They've been restocking those. And then she also got me this around the time that Bonanza was coming out. I was talking about how many dang Donkey Kong Country games there are on Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, and she actually picked me up a complete in-box copy of Donkey Kong Country on Game Boy Color. I've not heard the greatest things about this version of the game, but still, growing that first-party, cardboard, older game, retro games collection, a little bit more expensive, a little bit harder to do. Olivia always kills it on the birthday presents, and in years past, she got me like Minish Cap and Heart Gold in the big box, so usually she will go for stuff like this because she knows I will not buy it myself, unless I'm like on a very specific kick with collecting something. So very happy to get both of these for my birthday from Olivia. Thank you very much to her. Also the cat. Liking the cat a lot. He's pretty cool as well. We did also find some pretty great stuff at Goodwill recently. Now, if you remember back in the Botox Games days when I would post my collecting videos there, I used to do a lot of thrifting. Like, I would find really crazy stuff at the Goodwill outlets where you pay by the pound very consistently. It seems at some point that Goodwill and their employees kind of wised up to saving that stuff for Shop Goodwill, their website where they auction everything off. But every once in a while, something big will slip through the cracks. And on the same day, we got two very cool, pretty expensive things. So a GameCube game I did not have was complete. We found a copy of Pokemon Coliseum, bestseller. A little annoying there, you know. Not to sound ungrateful here, but I wish it wasn't the bestseller version. It's not player's choice or anything, but yeah, this was an incredible find at Goodwill. It needs to be wiped down. You can see like there's some dirt up there or whatever, but overall for a Goodwill copy of Coliseum, very nice. Not a game I would have bought, especially since it is coming to Switch Online, but it's nice to have for the collection. Yeah, very, very happy to find this. I mean, that's the best Goodwill find we've had probably this year, at least in terms of like a video game, so that was awesome. But that same day, Olivia pulled this out of like the hard goods, not the media. There was a working NES Classic with the controller, which is great because I actually do not have one of these right now. I had it when it came out, and I sold it at some point, so to find this with the controller especially was really nice. And it is not like one of the fake ones. This is really in there. Yeah, that's not good. But as you can see, it's an official NES Classic. Gonna mod this bad boy, play every NES game one it ever made in existence. Yeah, very cool. Very happy to find that. I do want to get one in the box eventually, but now definitely not a high priority. I also don't have an SNES Classic though, so I'm just happy to like get one of them, right? Especially at, you know, thrift store prices. Very, very happy about that. Next up, a bunch of amiibo got reprints on the official Nintendo store, and I've been slowly rebuying these when I sold them all when I was younger, and I like collecting them in box as well. So I'm glad I ordered these before the price increase. If you missed it, a lot of stuff in America anyway actually increased in price. So the former price for amiibo was $15.99. Originally it was like $12.99. Then it went to $15.99 when the Switch came out. Now they're $20, and all of these. Now they're $20, but I got all of these before the actual price increase, so very happy that they've been restocking amiibo so much over the past like year and a half, just so I can like fill out the collection. So we got a couple here to show. Kirby from the Kirby series. I didn't really think they would ever reprint these, as well as Meta Knight. I have Waddle Dee, just missing King Dedede now. These do all have the very boring, very boring backs on them. Also got the Cloud Player 2 amiibo. This one was restocked, I want to say like late last year at GameStop. I just never wanted to go into a GameStop and buy it, to be honest. I hate GameStop. So happy to get this straight through Nintendo, as well as these two Breath of the Wild amiibo. So we have the Rider Link and of course Archer Link. They had the like Breath of the Wild Zelda amiibo in stock. I didn't realize I didn't have it. I have a list I keep, and I just didn't realize. So unfortunately, I missed that one. I think it's still up, but I didn't want to pay for shipping again because with this I was hitting free shipping for one amiibo. You're not going to hit that. So got these two. I think the only Zelda amiibo I don't have now is the Breath of the Wild Zelda, which shouldn't be too bad to get. So happy to basically finish up the Zelda set. And then finally, not a reprint. I did want to show this off the Donkey Kong Bonanza amiibo. This thing is so high quality. Good lord. I can't believe how good it looks, honestly. And the nice thing is with the newer amiibo, I'm not sure about the reprints, but with this at least, it doesn't have like the little metal like tab underneath it, so you can actually scan it in the box, which is great for me because I vastly prefer keeping them in the box. I just think they look better. I have like protectors on them so they can stack up, and it looks really good, at least in my opinion. A little cluttered, I guess, but I really like the way it looks. And I used to collect them out of box, and that is even more clutter in my opinion. Like it kind of looks, unless you have like the perfect like tiered setup, it doesn't look that good if they're all just like flat on a shelf. With these, it's easier to make these look good, but of course this does take up more space. But yeah, happy to get more amiibo. I'm really kind of getting down to the wire in terms of what I need. There's, you know, some Mario amiibo I'm missing from that series, and then stuff like the Monster Hunter Stories import amiibo. I would love if they reprinted those. But for the most part, you know, a couple Smash amiibo I'm missing. I kind of have most of them. I still want to get Solaire from Dark Souls. There's a few I'm missing. Hopefully they reprint those. I doubt they will, but still happy they've been doing anything at all, especially getting them before the price increase, because $20 for one reprint amiibo when they used to retail for $13. That is insane. And then finally, I have a stack of PlayStation games here, mostly for PS5 from Bandai Namco. They actually had like a big, I guess it was 4th of July sale on a bunch of like their anime games, and I wanted to upgrade from the PS4 copies to the PS5 versions. But also this game, I got this from VGP not too long ago. Picked up the PS4 version of Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. This is one of my favorite games of the past couple of years, one of my favorite rhythm games, if not my favorite rhythm game of all time. This game specifically, you know, I've always liked Final Fantasy, but this one in particular is what like kicked me into overdrive, I would say, and like maybe like a huge Final Fantasy fan. You know, I'm still catching up on all the mainline entries, let alone all the spinoffs, but Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line is fantastic. If you like Final Fantasy music and just great rhythm games, I highly recommend it. It is incredible. I wanted to pick it up on PS4. I think it was like $15, and that's one of, honestly, kind of like the idea of going for the platinum for. I'm not sure how hard that is, but that's when I didn't mind double dipping for like a replay. It's been a while since I played it. I didn't do most of the DLC either, so maybe I'll buy it on PS4 and play it there. But then we have a bunch of PS5 games from Bandai Namco, mostly anime stuff. You all know me, I like my anime games, but I did get a few others. So first things first, we have We Heart Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie. Wanted to get this on PS5. I know these games run okay on Switch, but I don't know, I feel like there's something about Katamari that does feel more like a PlayStation series, if that makes sense. I mean, having them on Switch is cool, but Katamari, I mean, it started on PS2, so to me, it's always been like a thing I associate with PlayStation, if that makes sense. So having the PS5 version there felt right. And then for all these games, they were like $10 each, I want to say. They were very cheap. The issue with Bandai Namco store is the shipping. They kill you on the shipping, but it still ended up being like a decent deal considering how much I bought from them versus the shipping. So I basically upgraded all my anime games from the PS4 versions, which is nice because a lot of these do not have free upgrades. I know like this one in particular, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, does not have a free upgrade. There's like a paid upgrade, but I wanted to get the physical version here. This is one of my favorite games, honestly. I really love Xenoverse. One of my favorite anime games, if not my favorite anime game. Maybe my most played next to Naruto Shinobi Striker. But yeah, happy to get a PS5 copy of Xenoverse. We also had some other Dragon Ball stuff here, including Dragon Ball FighterZ on PS5. This one I think might have had a free upgrade, but still cool to have the PS5 version here. We also had the PS5 version of Kakarot. I realize I maybe should have skipped this and waited for the new Daima edition to get cheaper. Right now, there's like a new physical version that includes a code, I want to say, for the DLC, like all the Daima DLC and everything. I maybe should have waited for that and just got that because I haven't played that DLC yet, but still nice to get the PS5 version of that there. This I had digitally, but a physical copy of Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. I love the Storm games, as well as these two. I just threw them in there. Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash. This game is not that great, to be honest, but I like JJK. I still want to play through this and get through the story eventually. Same thing with like the Hunter x Hunter game that just came out, which I know isn't reviewed the best. Like, to me, even something like JJK or Hunter x Hunter, which, I mean, these aren't my favorite anime at all. Like, I think they're fine. I still like playing the games. You know, I think the games are a lot of fun. So I do want to get through the story modes in these at least. And then last one here is Sword Art Online Last Recollection. For some reason, this one did not come out on Switch. I don't know why, because all the other Sword Art Online games are on Switch. I played that Fractured Daydream game, I want to say it was called, last year, that multiplayer-focused one. That was a lot of fun. I really liked that for like a weekend. Which, to me, like, that's fine. If I get a full weekend out of, like, a multiplayer game, just grinding it, a couple days more than that, maybe, like, that's enough for me. So, Sword Art Online, I've only seen the first season of it, but I still really am into the games, kind of, so I do want to play this. This one's single-player focused, I think. Yeah, well, it says 1 player, then 2 to 4 network players through PS Plus. I'm not sure, but that is going to do it. Those are all my pickups from the past 2 months or so. We got a little kitty down there. He's waiting. He looked at me when I pointed at him. He's waiting for me to let him out. Let me know what you guys have added to your collections in the past couple of months. Of course, there's much more Switch 2 stuff that I didn't show in this video that I've done individual videos on. So if you missed any of those, you want to hear my impressions of a lot of specific Switch 2 things, definitely give those a watch. There's a playlist on the channel. And yeah, once again, let me know what you have added to your collections recently in the comments down below. Until next time, folks, peace.